Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Alt Kings podcast. I'm your host, Tate, with my co-host, Corbin, and today we are diving deep into a token called Casper.
Yes. It is not a ghost, surprisingly.
Not at
Their
all.
logo, they missed the opportunity to make their logo a ghost.
That would have been very smart marketing.
Saddens me. But, he's probably copyrighted.
Casper's price is currently sitting at a little under 8 cents, 7, 8.
And fluctuating.
It has a circulating supply of about 4.5 million?
Billion.
4.5 billion, sorry.
Yeah.
And a max supply a little over 10 billion.
Yeah.
What is Casper, Corbin?
So Casper is a pretty fascinating coin, honestly. So Casper operates in a, I guess you could say, kind of similar manner to how Ethereum operates in terms of it being a... actually, no. It's proof of stake. So it's not Ethereum. It's actually something closer to like Solana. Actually, no, not Solana. Cardano.
No, you wouldn't say it'd be related to
Can you
Bitcoin?
stake on Solana? I don't know like hardly anything about Solana other than how unreliable it is.
Yeah, I don't know much either. So I'm just gonna we're not gonna talk about it.
Yeah, okay. Sounds
Proof
like
of stake. Bitcoin is proof of stake. No, Bitcoin's proof of work. Yeah,
Ethereum's proof of work too. Yeah, Ethereum 2.0 is trying to move to proof of stake. That's why my brain was like, oh, Ethereum, wow, but it just got delayed again. So
Actually,
guess not.
what a shame. What a shame. So what could we refer this to? Casper's its own thing.
Casper is its own thing. Yeah. So the thing that makes Casper really, really cool is its modularity and ability to sort of not necessarily contort to a business's needs, but for instance, it supports smart contracts.
Yes.
Right? And in a typical smart contract, if you want to ever go back and edit that smart contract, you actually have to write a whole nother smart contract and then, edit whatever changes you wanted to make in the first place. Yeah. And then you have to, implement it into the blockchain, and then you have to migrate everything from that old smart contract over to the new one.
Okay.
Which takes a long time.
Yeah.
And can be exploited. If I don't know the extent of the exploitation, whether or not it's based off of the actual speed of the network, because that's what happened with Ethereum with that OpenSea hack we mentioned before.
Many times.
Yeah, it's happened many times. Yeah, so they'll go in there and the hackers will like weasel their way into the layer of the blockchain or into the layer of the smart contract and wreak havoc.
Do their deeds.
Do their deeds, exactly. The thing that's cool about Casper is that it lets you actually go in and edit the smart contract and just roll it out live.
We've really never seen that before.
No, and it's kind of funny. It seems like such an obvious thing.
Yeah.
It's like
it seems like why hasn't everybody else done this?
Exactly. I've never seen that done. So I could be wrong, but I've personally never seen that on another blockchain.
I mean, neither have I.
Yeah.
And it's fully permissionless and decentralized with single node types.
Mm-hmm.
And if you compare that to things like Hedera, Algo, obviously Ethereum is fully permissionless, but Hedera and Algo both are not. Hedera is a council and Algo is a foundation.
Yeah.
And then things like Tezos and Cosmos, those are both fully permissionless as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which it has its comparisons, but more or less it's in its own lane.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really doing its own thing. And the whole staking mechanism, even though it's only been rolled out for a year, which usually for most blockchains means it's still going to be a bit clunky. There's still going to be some weird things that you got to kind of like learn.
Sure.
The way that you actually stake on Casper is actually fairly simple. They have their own wallet and everything, and like you just basically go in there. You can go on a website that actually will tell you like the top validators, what their uptime is, and all that stuff. It operates similar to how you will delegate your tokens in Songbird.
Okay.
So in Songbird, the way it works is the node operators will try to try to guess the most accurate price of Songbird at any given time. And whenever that particular operator happens to be the closest, they get, a certain portion of some Songbird, for the people staking in them.
Okay.
And that's kind of how it determines the reward output. So the ones that don't determine the price accurately very often, a lot of times their reward output will be quite bad. And then the ones that dump all of their development into just making sure that it's as accurate as possible are the ones that sit at the top.
Top dogs.
The top dogs, exactly. Yeah. And then with Casper, it's a similar thing of where it's more of a reliability thing. But, you can also choose to vote. Like if something ever happened with the blockchain where it messed up, you would take part in the voting process because it's decentralized.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And your vote would be based off of how many, tokens that you're staking at the time.
Wow. That's a big benefit.
Yeah.
Especially when you're staking a lot more than an average user. Because then it gives you control, or not necessarily control, but a bigger say in how things are determined.
Yeah.
With the nodes.
Yeah. And as far as I know, that hasn't happened. And the way that it's structured, I don't really foresee that happening because it's all node operated. Yeah. It's not like proof of work or anything where, there can be incongruencies with, hey, I got this block done at this time. And then this other miner's like, no. I got this block done at this time ahead of you.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, which one are we going with?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
And one thing that's also very special about Casper is they don't have a limit on the amount of nodes.
Yeah. There can be an unlimited amount of Casper nodes, which is really good and really helps with scalability.
Yeah.
Long term. Help get those transactions knocked out.
Never seen anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one other really cool feature of Casper is they released an article. This was back in February. And about how their gas fees work and about how, it can be custom tailored to how, whether or not the blockchain's backed up or that sort of thing. But at the very end, it talks about a gas market future concept, which would allow businesses to actually like pre-buy gas. So if gas is going for a certain rate at this time and a business thinks, hey, I'm going to need to have this much gas.
I'm going to need to stock up on my gas so I'm able to make sure that I'm able to execute.
It's like prepaying your gas, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty major.
Yeah. And the gas fees aren't bad either.
You just literally said you were going to send your Casper, which isn't too much, but it was only going to cost you 8 cents.
Yeah.
That's one Casper.
Yeah. And that's the gas fee. So it's very early days.
Yeah.
It's only been out for a year. So
you also have to consider whenever you're sending millions and billions of dollars through the network, you have to, it still wouldn't be too bad.
But because it's proof of stake, I don't know if it scales.
Gotcha.
Because I think when you do, this is me totally spitballing, but it makes sense in my head. When you're doing proof of work, it's different because it's going out to more individuals. When you're a node operator, it's going to usually it goes to like businesses and that kind of thing. So instead of them making more money off of the larger value transactions, instead, I think they make more money just based off the sheer volume of transactions going through.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Do you know how much Casper it costs to create a node?
I'm actually not 100% sure. I was doing some reading to try to figure out like.
That's a great question.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to do some reading to figure out, is it like XDC of where you need to stake? What was it, like 1 million?
Yeah.
XDC, which is just absolutely absurd.
Considered to some, it's not too bad, but it's still very absurd.
Yeah, and if you're gonna lose 1 million XDC to open up a node, that reward rate either has to be exceptional or
you just have a lot of capital.
Or you have a lot of capital, or you're playing the long game. Because earning back 1 million XDC would take so long to do.
But it's not always just about earning back. It's about being a part of the protocol itself.
Sure, that makes sense. But you also want to be able to make back your investment.
Of course. I mean, you could also make back the investment over time through not receiving back the amount of XDC, but receiving back the total dollar value in XDC. So say is you stake it and you accumulate through the node, you would obviously the price of XDC is going to go up long term.
Dollar cost average the way up.
Yes. Well, that's just through the rewards that you gain through the node.
Sure. Yeah. No, I didn't even think about
a different visualization that some might not consider.
That's a great idea.
But one thing that makes Casper super unique is that it's 136,000% more energy efficient than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like
super energy efficient.
Like what?
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous.
Considering the proof of stake mechanism behind it and like how it works and operates, it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like honestly, it's not with
mind blowing.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely mind blowing. But at the same time, we rag on Ethereum and Bitcoin all the time.
That's all we do.
Pretty much, yeah. But like at the same time, it's not really that hard nowadays to make a token. I mean, I know nothing about creating a token, but I would imagine it would not be the most difficult thing in the world to make it. That thousands of % more efficient
of course.
than proof of work,
but
which is the most inefficient blockchain technology.
Correct. But it might not be hard to make it that efficient, but it also you don't know how to incorporate everything that Casper is providing.
Yeah.
That's the big plus that I look at it. Like it weighs out.
Yeah.
Like you're getting the energy efficiency and then you're also getting the utility.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
A double standard.
Mm-hmm.
The two co-founders, Meta Palekar, she's a co-founder and CTO, and Mrinal Manohar, co-founder and CEO. They both are very, very strong computer programmers and finance professionals. They've worked in the tech space for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
They have great backgrounds.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But Meta, she's been working in the tech space since the early 80s, building computers in her basement. Since then, she has spent the past 2 decades delivering a production of SaaS software for major corporations such as Adobe, Omniture, and Avalara.
SaaS, by the way, stands for Software as a Service.
In addition to her technical proficiencies, Meta's strengths include building high-functioning technical teams and inspiring them to deliver solutions that solve customer problems.
Yeah.
And then if we dive into Mrinal has an extensive career as both a computer programmer and a financial professional. Before founding Casper, Mrinal was a principal and the technology/media/telecom sector head at Sagard Capital, a private equity associate at Bain Capital and associate consultant at Bain Company. In addition to his professional contributions to the blockchain industry, Mrinal has been personally investing into the sector since 2012, a seed investor in Ethereum, which I'm curious what price he got in at.
I would also love to know that.
Seed investor, that's pretty major.
Yeah.
Blockstat, Basis, Maker, and Filecoin, plus many more. Filecoin is another one I'd consider what he got in at. Probably sub $1, I'd assume.
Oh, yeah. I mean, probably sub maybe even 10 cents.
Probably
Filecoin
Casper price right now.
Yeah. What's Filecoin at these days?
Over $100, I believe. Okay. 2 seconds. Oh, I'm so dumb. It's at $20. I
figured. I'm like, okay, well, it must have ran at some point.
Wind Moon. That's all I ask. Filecoin's another great coin that we will talk about very soon.
Hey, if you wanted a moon, we should have bought some Zilliqa. I think 3x'd in 2 days.
We knew about it. Rebel Bull put us on.
Oh, I know. I'm not missing Casper, though, because I have a feeling this one's going to do something.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at the chart on CoinMarketCap over the last, let's see, we can do...
One big plus about Casper, it's not really listed on any major exchanges.
No.
The only exchange you can really find it on that is to your benefit would be like BitTrue.
Yeah, that's like one of the most accessible ones if you're in the US at least. Because to get on like Huobi, I don't know how you pronounce it,
or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's really hard to do in the US. It's not really worth it, honestly. But they're supposedly supposed to have 12 more listings. What Kevin Cage posted.
12 exchange listings.
12 exchange listings. That's
that
why I bought.
So much liquidity. I need to buy now.
Okay,
I have to buy now.
Not financial advice. If you go back and you look at the all chart on CoinMarketCap, in its inception, it started off.
It's only been out for a little over a year now. It just had its 1 year birthday.
Yeah.
Started off high, $1.30.
Yeah. So at some point, something's going to have to go back and grab that liquidity.
And the volume, the 24-hour volume back then was 268 million.
Mm-hmm.
Think about if Casper just gets 1 billion.
Yeah. I'm following the chart along as it dipped in value.
Crazy, folks. This is crazy.
Man, this is tough.
And there's a lot that makes Casper very unique. Let's start with its security. Casper is a fully permissionless / decentralized scalable blockchain designed for real-world speed and security with very low sustainable energy usage, which provides, like you were saying earlier, it's going to be a lot harder to go in and pick out a block and just compromise it in a way. Like Ethereum has many problems.
Oh, you're talking about the smart contracts?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be really hard to go through that process of just compromising smart contracts and just any sort of the network.
Sure.
It's also very minimal, easy to use. Never really had, or Casper integrates into existing development processes and tool sets, reducing friction and training time.
Yeah.
Helps out immensely.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're sort of in the, not necessarily the embryonic stage. That's already launched. I guess it would be more of the toddler / infant stage.
The baby years. Only 1 year in.
Yeah,
1 year on the markets. Think about it. Ripple, Ethereum, Bitcoin, they've been around for over a decade now.
Yeah.
Give it 10 years.
You just call XRP Ripple. Kate? Gary. Oh, Gary.
I'm going off of Coinbase. But they just changed it to XRP. Finally.
Good. Yeah, didn't they do that a little bit ago?
Yeah, just recently.
Good.
It changed it from Ripple to XRP.
Took them long enough, jeez. No wonder
They're starting to realize a lot more that XRP is not a security.
A concept.
But who would have known, you know? All these Bitcoin maxis out here.
Everybody was too worried about doing their taxes.
Yeah. Yesterday
was tax day.
I'm everywhere.
Did you see all those tweets that a bunch of politicians put up about abolishing the IRS?
Really? What?
There was like 7 or 8 politicians that were like,
they don't want to pay taxes either.
Well, I'm sure, but like they all had the general sentiment of happy tax day. We need not kill, but like destroy the IRS.
Take an end to the IRS. Turn it into the SRI.
As a libertarian, I see no issues with this. People should be able to do what they want. Putting that out there.
We consider ourselves a free country. It should be free. There's quotes. Yes, I was about to say there's quotes between the free.
Yeah. There are only 2 absolutes in this world, death and taxes.
And debt. More or less. Actually, not. Debt's not
because you can declare bankruptcy. You can't declare bankruptcy from taxes. IRS is going to just keep coming after you.
Steal it regardless. If they don't steal your tax money, they'll steal your assets.
It's about time we emptied some tea into a harbor.
Or we just leave the country.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anybody got any good recommendations for places with no capital gains tax?
Mexico. Parts of Mexico, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I was just looking into it recently.
Thinking more like Bermuda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you just move to another country and just claim that you don't live there.
What?
You move to another country, you make all your money online, and you never claim that you live there. They'll never get around to you.
Well, then you need to also make sure that you can't be what's the word? I think it's extradited from that country. So like if you're seeking asylum in another country, you need to make sure that you can't be exported back to the US. Because then you would be so SOL, it's not even funny.
Once you get back, then you just run away. I'm kidding now. They'll be waiting. They'll be waiting at the airplane.
Yeah. They'll be on the landing strip waiting for you.
I think it's possible, but that's another story. I was just because like the only way that you possibly could get away with that is if you just don't get caught up by the police.
I mean, yeah, but
you use cash for every transaction.
But how do you get that cash out?
Bring it with you. Bring $1 million in cash and be very smart with it. But that's a lot of money to be walking around with.
Yeah. A lot of money in duffel bags.
And you rent instead of buying.
Yeah.
Rent through a third party that's very ghetto.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see your point.
It's all gotta be lined up perfectly for this to work. But anyways.
And then you gotta get like a facelift or something.
Well, I don't think your identity really has a major problem.
But here's the thing though, if you're trying to do that, you also need to attempt to wipe your identity.
Yeah.
So, you go see a guy, you get your fingerprint changed.
We're literally starting a podcast on how to flee the country.
Hey, none of this is financial advice. To be
Just
clear.
like everything we talk about, none of it's financial advice. Oh my. I really love how Casper breaks down their tokenomics. I think it's very spread out in the right ways.
Yeah.
So they give about 30.4% to their Genesis validator tokens, 17% to coinless public token sale, 16% to developer incentives, which is good to provide just more value to the project.
Yeah.
In the long term.
Yeah, you want more people to develop on it.
You need more people working for you to grow that development. 12.6% to the Casper Association, just like we just stated. 10% to Casper Labs Holdings AG, 8% to the teams, and 6% to the advisors. Not too bad.
Not too shabby. Yeah, they also have quite a few partnerships. A lot of these guys I've never heard of before, but there is a major one that they partnered with in the middle of last year around August. Casper Labs, who is the company that actually made Casper,
yes.
They are partnered with AWS, which is Amazon Web Services.
We've spoke about them before.
Yeah, we've spoken about them before, and it's actually on the marketplace for software.
Wow.
Yeah, Amazon Web Services has a full marketplace for software and blockchains that
to buy,
not to buy, but to develop on.
Gotcha.
So I don't know exactly the process of what you're buying.
Yes.
If maybe it's providing support, or maybe if you're also trying to maybe run parts of a blockchain through Amazon Web Services so that way you don't have to actually buy your own server farm.
Gotcha.
I could see that being a thing too.
Validators that you need to accumulate.
Yeah.
Create a node.
Well, I mean, yes, but also no. Because you also want to make sure that the uptime is and that's where Amazon Web Services excels at. Because they have pretty much endless cache. I mean, they've got contracts.
ODL through the butt.
Yeah. No, they got contracts out the what with the Defense Department to actually, help the government with all of their stuff that they need to do for both the Defense Department and I think just the general policing, FBI. I mean, CIA and stuff would be Defense Department, but your homeland security type stuff.
Of course.
So,
wow.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, a major deal.
Yeah,
but people look past that stuff, in the moment. They don't really. A lot of people don't dive deep into the token enough, or into the project behind the token enough to realize the value behind it.
Yeah,
but that's when the alt kings come into play.
Exactly. We still need the guy who makes those really good infographics to make an infograph for this.
Maybe we can get him on the podcast someday and just be like, so what goes through your head whenever you're making these infographics? How do you start an infographic?
How do you organize this?
Yeah, exactly. It's
because it looks like chaos, but the more you read it, the more you understand.
The more you follow the arrows, the more it makes sense.
Yeah.
As an infograph should work.
Sure. Yeah, it would actually be a good idea for him to have maybe a little red pin to stick into it and be like, that's the starting point. Like, start here and then go here and then here and then here and then.
Well, I think that's kind of complex just because there's so many different, I guess you could say niches that they expand out to. So you can't really start in one specific spot. They kind of just branch off in their own ways.
Yeah, he covers a bunch of different topics. So that makes sense. Yeah.
But it all lines up properly.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Very well researched.
How does Casper work? And I see that it's a correct by construction CBC construct, and the consensus building peer nodes validator generate and pass messages in order to try and reach a consensus on newly created blocks. A block proposer selects a set of pending transactions and includes the hashes of a transactions in a block. This is a proto-block. Consensus executes and the block is finalized. That's how it works.
Where did you find that?
And what is Casper?
Oh,
market cap.
Hilarious. I can't believe it.
And if we don't ever tell you all the information you want to know, I mean, we obviously won't always say everything that's needed to be saying.
Sure.
CoinMarketCap's going to be your best friend.
Yeah, CoinMarketCap has an excellent write-up about Casper.
About majority of the coins that matter. I guess you could say probably about, because Casper is not top 100 coin at the moment. It's, I believe, mid 100s.
It's 154.
I was about to say top 150. But yeah, roughly top 200 tokens. CoinMarketCap's going to have a great overview about what they are and what they're trying to provide.
Yeah.
And it helps a lot when you're, one, new to the crypto space, and also just two, a crazy crypto investor who's curious about anything and everything.
Sure.
And it's just going to help you understand more and give you a brief overview of what they're trying to.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have friends or family or anybody that tells you about a coin, it's a really great way that you can just quickly go in, search the ticker for it, or even the name, and scroll down, do a quick read. Does this look like something I want to invest in? Is there 27 other coins doing the exact same thing? And then it gives you links and stuff that you can go in and read more about certain topics that are discussed in it.
Funny thing that just came up in my mind is your mom comes up to you and asks, Corbin, what's Shiba Inu? I just threw $300 into it. Can you give me a brief overview? I'll be like, Mom.
Hold it till it overtakes Doge.
That won't ever happen.
No, I know.
Anyways, CoinMarketCap's going to be your best friend.
Yeah. Yeah, So regarding what you said before with the what is Casper part of this article, it is quite interesting the way that they word this. So offering enterprise grade security, scalability, and decentralization all within the same protocol. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is, so it's all of those things, because I was thinking in my head, HBAR does that.
Yeah.
But it's not decentralized.
And HBAR has a limit on the amount of nodes.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
HBAR has a limit of 39 nodes.
But the thing with HBAR, though, is it's so efficient that you don't really need to have a ton of nodes.
Well, the nodes are also, aren't they given to the major institutions that are part of the Hedera Foundation?
Yeah, I think they're given to the governing council, or maybe they
probably just the governing council.
Probably part of that. Like, what do they have to pay? It's like $10 million or something like that to get in.
I don't think it was. I think it was 10 billion.
Yeah, whatever ridiculous amount. I think that's part of the package.
Better be. It makes sense. But once the nodes are finalized, validator nodes execute all the transactions in the block and update their internal state.
Mm-hmm.
Then from there, the validators then send a finality signature indicating that they have completed executing the block, adding the block to the linear chain, and updated their internal state.
Yeah.
Which makes sense completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the things with proof of stake too, is a lot of these blockchains can get super complicated. Like, you look at IOTA and how it's set up, and like, look, IOTA's great.
Yes.
It does what it needs to do very well. Of
course.
To some random Joe that's just hearing about crypto and is trying to get their feet wet, think be a little bit more simpler.
Of course, I mean, that's, yeah, very much so.
Yeah, with the Tangle.
Because once they hear about the Tangle, then they're going to hear about MIOTA, and they're going to be like, what?
Yeah, what do you mean? I bought one IOTA. It's 1,000 MIOTA? What?
Does that mean I'm rich?
Hilarious.
Society's problems.
You know, it is
We're
what
all
it is.
adapting. It's just like the internet back in the early 2000s. Nobody knew how to use it.
Yeah.
We're just all slowly merging.
What is this instant messenger you speak of?
Is Google.
What?
Think about it like that.
Who's AOL?
Yeah. What is Google? That was a question at one point. Now people are asking, what is Casper?
I think more people are asking, what is Ripple?
Yeah. XRP is top 6 right now.
Oh, it went up more?
Climbing the ranks again.
Good.
Yep. I just want to see it top 2 again.
Yeah.
And then Ethereum.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's going to take a little bit of time, especially since ETH 2.0 just got delayed again.
And this is also off. All right. So what I've been thinking about, this is completely off topic.
Sure.
But like all of these, so we have Flare being delayed. Like it's been delayed for the longest.
Yeah.
I guarantee it'll be delayed again.
You think it won't make July 4th?
No, probably not. But we have Ethereum being delayed now.
Sure.
We have just all of these different cryptos just continuing to be delayed. If Ripple can get XLS20 out on time, that's gonna be amazing. If Ripple can just execute on what they're saying they're trying to accomplish and just get it out on time, I think that any sort of network that can just get their work done on time will be the successful networks.
Makes sense. You know what would be?
Everything's being delayed.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when is it going to end?
True. But you also don't want them to cyberpunk it.
Yeah.
Have it just be like a botched mess on launch.
Very true.
Here's another thing to think about, too. I think XR, personally, once again, not financial advice to anyone listening, spitballing completely. I think XRP is going to have 2, maybe potentially 3 bull runs within the next few months. I think it's going to have 3 major legs up from 3 different things. Yeah, no, that GIF that I constantly put up here of it doing the of it doing that. Yeah, I think that's 100% possible off of solely a FOMO bull run, which is what we're in right now. So I think that once XLS20D comes out, that's going to be a fat leg up for it.
Yep.
And then the other one that's going to be a fat leg is when the lawsuit settles. It's obvious.
What I think is going to happen is, though, lawsuit will settle, FOMO, people will dump their money in, like major investors and stuff.
Yeah.
But before they dump their money in, I think the institutions will hop on board before that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
There's going to be a mega spike from the institutional money. And then FOMO from everybody else missing out because the lawsuit wasn't ended just yet.
True, but I also think the institutions are still waiting for another crash. Because when Tether gets rugged, that's going to suck so much liquidity out of the market. I'm scared to think about what the prices of everything are going to be. But anyway, the third thing that I think is going to cause another fat leg is just how everything is running right now.
Utility.
Well, we're not on the utility bull run yet.
So that's like a fourth or fifth leg then.
Yeah, but that's down the line. That's post the crash. That's
2023 for you.
Yeah, that's past, all of our senators not being able to buy or sell stocks after they dump all of them on the market at the peak, causing a massive recession.
Yep, it's coming.
Not financial advice. Yeah. Lots of good talk about Casper.
A moment of silence. A moment of silence for the financial crash that is soon to come. Inflation is imminent.
Yeah, well, I mean, inflation is death by 1,000 cuts. And if you think about it, it all makes sense from a perspective of what if, like, the end goal is to have everybody be on digital currency for one reason or another.
Oh, I think that is the end goal. I think people just aren't understanding of that end goal yet.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the phone, though. Like, messaging's not sent through the mail. When we send somebody mail, it's through our phone, not through letters and papers. I mean, you have all those companies sending you stuff, but it's not like you're going to say, hey, Johnny, and send it through the mail.
Yeah.
It's all digital now.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of getting the payment system fully digital as well.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree with that too. But I also think that it makes sense, if you think about it from a completely macro perspective, you zoom out on everything happening right now, because it's a ton of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We are constantly living in a new crisis.
It's the Matrix.
Yeah, pretty much. But something to think about is people, including me, enjoy having physical money. Like being able to use cash. It's not really trackable. It kind of is, but you
can get away with your taxes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's nice to have a physical good that you have, at least some control of.
You can just look at Rosie Rios' name on that dollar bill.
Correct. Yes, exactly.
Feel a little more confident about your investment.
Yes, not financial advice. But the thing is, it's going to take a lot for people to switch away from traditional means of currency.
It just more or less means that everybody's going to have a smartphone.
Yes.
Everybody will have to have some sort of smart device to make digital currency.
That's not what I was getting at.
Yeah.
You're right. That's not what I was getting at.
Gotcha.
What I was getting at is with how bad the inflation is, and how few dollars can get you a certain amount of goods.
Yeah.
I think once again, inflation is death by 1,000 cuts at the end of the day. And when it gets to this level of inflation, plus with the economy stagnating, it's just a whirlwind that I think will eventually end up collapsing our currency. And I think it's by design. I think we have smart people that work, in our institutions,
behind the
governments
scenes
and stuff. Behind the scenes, yeah. So you can look up Klaus Schwab for that.
We have went off the rails.
We are so far off the rails.
We should call this podcast Casper and Off the Rails. I think that'd do the trick.
No. We for the thumbnail picture, we should put Casper and then have
Rails.
XRP falling out of it, it was behind it and it's falling out of it.
I'll make something happen.
At the end of the day, it all goes back to XRP.
I mean, it's the chosen one. Not financial advice. What if everything is revolving around XRP? Every single pair is just to XRP. Nah, that'd make zero sense.
Oh.
That'd be...
Well, the thing is, though, I think at some point we are going to have one world currency.
Sure.
I think it's kind of inevitable at this point. Everything's being set up for it. So it makes sense. But... is that going to be XRP or is watch it be XDC?
It's going to be USDC.
It's going to be whatever the FedNow payment system uses. So whether the Right. You're right. It's probably going to be USDC.
It's going to be USDC because that will not fluctuate. At, like the price won't move. It's going to be stable at $1.
Yeah.
But what people are going to use to transact will be different altcoins.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
They'll base it off of USDC. Everything will be paired to USDC. But to transact and to move money and to be able to send money properly, it's going to be based off of different currencies.
It'll probably end up being based off of XLM. Because USDC...
For specific use cases.
Yeah, but...
Everything has its own use case.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just saying as of right now.
Yeah.
So Circle is partnered with Stellar, and you can actually use... USDC on XLM's blockchain.
Wow.
Yeah. So you don't have to pay gas fees, like the Ethereum gas fees, to move your USDC, which is like, hello, finally.
Literally.
Like, it's brutal. Like, yes, I want to be able to, when the market's super volatile, put my money into, some sort of a stable coin.
For sure.
But at the same time, if I want to move it, I don't want to have to give away like 5 or 10% of what I just put in just to move it. And then to like my cold storage.
It's not efficient.
Not efficient at
More
all.
effective.
Yeah.
Also completely off topic. You know what I just thought of?
What?
We can actually put LED lights behind this table now.
Ooh, yeah, we can. Yeah, so if you guys
didn't also realize, we just keep on upgrading because we love you guys so much and we want to provide the best content possible, and we got a new table.
Yeah, new table. And then we finally got some proper stands.
They'll see that in the most recent one.
So Vicente can stop roasting me.
We're becoming more professional, Vicente. We promise. We promise.
He's probably listening to this on the treadmill like, oh,
these damn dweebs, they went off the rail on Casper.
No. He's probably on the treadmill like, all right, they did a little bit better. A little bit. Still
progress.
Not great.
Wait till we're at episode 100. Having the bearable bull on.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Got 2 4K cameras, one on each of us, 3 4K cameras. Because if
need a brief overview as well. Full. Actually, no, it would just be 1-on-1, right?
Yeah, 1-on-1, and then if we start doing in-person interviews, so like if we wanted to have like Barboons or
that'd be cool.
Extra rooms on. We should honestly organize like some sort of a big NFT creator meetup. I think that would be really cool.
How many people? I mean, like, there could also be people who fly in for that.
Yeah, like we go out to the beach somewhere, or maybe we go-karting or something.
Everybody meets at Buc-ee's.
Yes, we all meet at Buc-ee's. we get some pulled pork, hit the beach. Yeah, sounds like a good time.
Then we put up poster boards on the beach of all the different NFTs.
Yeah.
Ideas flowing out the bando.
Do what?
That ideas are flowing out the bando. It made 0 sense, but I just had to repeat myself.
Sure. That's why I was like, that's English?
What?
Never heard of her. Anyway. Yeah, so Casper's really cool. I recommend doing some more digging.
We think it's the Ethereum killer. Just
could potentially be one of the Ethereum killers.
There's going to be a lot that kills Ethereum.
Yeah.
Just keeps on stabbing it.
Yeah. Honestly, because if you think about it now, too, the other thing with Ethereum, the way it's sort of operating right now, is Ethereum cannot scale properly to the current demand. So if you think about a blockchain that's going to need to scale, that would need to scale properly to the current demand, and then plus some as more and more development goes on.
The future demand.
The future demand. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be nutty. It's
going to be insane.
Yeah.
It won't be able to handle anything. We're going to be paying thousands of dollars for Ethereum gas fees. They don't turn to Ethereum 2.0 anytime soon.
Yeah. I still think we should like genuinely place like a $10 bet on whether or not we think Flare or Ethereum 2.0 is going to launch first.
No comment.
I think Flare is going to launch first.
It probably will. I mean, it was literally supposed to be done last year.
Yeah.
My birthday time last year, July last year.
Sure.
I was so hyped. I'm like, Flare's about to launch.
Dude, I was hyped too. And then they got audited.
Yep. there'll be more to come on Casper.
Yeah.
Down the road.
Yeah, we definitely want to do like a deep dive into their partnerships, because a lot of these companies, like, your average person's not gonna know. But I've like randomly heard some of these just in talking with friends who are also into crypto, but it's mainly venture capital groups. But also there's this really, really cool one called I just had it. I will edit IPWE. That one's a really cool one. So IPWE handles patents and the patent registration process.
Sure.
So it's effectively creating a new approach to patent ownership verification. And it will use a joint chain of custody solution that uses the Casper blockchain to store, secure, and trace patent data, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, at some point, everything's going to be tokenized.
Patents will be tokenized.
Yeah, even the most like random things that like you just wouldn't think about on a daily basis are going to be tokenized, which is really cool. So they
something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
To throw through your brains.
Yeah, so they have built the world's first global patent market, connecting the world's patent ecosystem on a single platform.
Wow.
And it enables traditional patent transactions, license, sales, acquisitions, and empowers new classes of transactions like reporting, financing, and insurance. Because you can like track it a lot easier versus going to like the patent office and doing your transaction that way. So similarly,
I'm curious if they have all the patents already established on the network.
I don't know how long that migration takes. This article is from January 27th of last year.
Gotcha.
So they haven't released anything as far as I can find about an update to this, other than that they've got a super strong partnership, which is really cool to see.
Very true. Very, very true. But to sum things up on Casper.
Yep.
Casper is fully permissionless and decentralized with single node types. It is also a developer friendly through open and multiple programming languages. It also is a turning complete smart. Casper is turning complete smart contracts. What it says. Turing complete smart contracts. I'm failing.
I was just letting you go on that one.
Mathematically secure and live, including DDoS protection. No node limits. Weighted key management. Continuous integration and deployment. Meta transactions and a flexible payment code. All things that Casper is attacking.
Yes.
And can utilize.
Yep.
But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Alt Kings podcast. Trying to do my best bearable bull interpretation.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Alt Kings podcast.
Wait, can I do one? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Alt Kings podcast.
We will catch you next time on our podcast.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
I missed.
You missed that. Wasn't even
I was like,
dog. You went for like the wall on that one.